I want to ask a question. What does a bunch of financial nerds on Reddit have to do with the gun control conversation? If you've been under a rock lately, there's a rather big event happening in the markets right now. It has to do with hedge funds shorting GameStop to the point where a bunch of Reddit guys caught on and have been buying up all the shares. Now, I'm not going to get into the technical elements of a short squeeze here, but I've been watching from the sides, very interested, not participating myself. But I've noticed a parallel here between the reaction that the government and the news agencies and the elites are having about everyday people sticking it to the man that is very similar to how the gun control debate goes down. And today, I want to take just a couple minutes. This is a bonus episode, not a whole lot of notes, not very long. It's just something that's been on my mind, and I wanted to talk to you about it. But first, I just want to say welcome to the Everyday Marksman, the podcast where it's all about tactical skills for living a more adventurous life. I am your host, Matt Robertson. Our website is everydaymarksman.co, and there you're going to find today's rather slim show notes, as well as the rest of our episodes, all of our articles, and our awesome community of marksmen. Now, with that, I don't want to take too long on the intro because, frankly, this isn't going to be a very long episode. It's just something that's been on my mind this week, that it's all about control. You know, the people of the gun are all too familiar with the phrase, it's not about the gun, it's about control. And by that, we mean that the gun control debate has never really been about the hardware itself, but about trying to constrain the power of the population to wield violence. Yeah, I know I'm not shy about using guns as weapons. That's what they are. But whether you buy into the idea or not, that only governments should have a monopoly on the use of force is not really the point here. So stick with me. One of the biggest arguments in favor of the Second Amendment is that it represents a hedge against power, against tyranny, by flatly stating that the common citizen shall retain the tools of violence. It supposedly limits the ability of the elite to control the common citizen. One of my favorite phrases on this one is, the armed man cannot be coerced, only convinced. As we've seen over and over in history, it's all too common for the elite and the connected of a society to set rules for everyone else, but they themselves never seem to have to follow them. As the book said, some animals are more equal than others. And that brings me back to the events this week with GameStop and Wall Street bets and all the stuff going on in the market. The news networks are jammed, packed full of financial industry experts crying foul that the common retail investor is winning against them using their own rules, using the tools that they themselves develop and use all day, every day in order to beat the markets and stay ahead of everybody else. Now, at best, this is going to cause trigger a conversation around how to better regulate the industry to protect the common person from themselves. But at worst, we've seen an insidious attempt to control the damage of common investors through market manipulation and actively stopping them from participating in the system. Now, I don't know if you've been paying attention to this one. I have. We've been talking about it all week in the Discord chat. But there are applications that everybody is using for trading that just randomly decided they weren't going to let you buy any more stock. Nope, you're done. We're not going to let you buy that. You can sell it though. But at the same time, all these hedge funds that were crying foul, the ones who lined the pockets of these trading applications, they continue to trade. They try to get out from under their poor decisions. Now, for many of us, this rings to 2008. And that crash where the financial elite, again, gambled with the American economy and blew it up. And then they got bailed out by the government with little more than a slap on the wrist. To this day, not a lot of people are very happy about how that happened. So all this comes back to what I'm saying now. This is a time to build connections. If you're into the gun culture and Second Amendment advocacy, this is an opportunity. Maybe you know somebody who today is getting angry at the banks and the financial institutes for the games that they've been playing. There's a chance to show them that the similarities between how they're being treated and how gun owners have been treated is really similar. Politics aside, there's a stunning number of parallels here from stopping the common person from purchasing specific items, whether it's a particular stock or, you know what, we're going to arbitrarily ban assault weapons. Or we're going to stop you from participating in certain activities. You know what? No, we're going to ban you from being able to go to get training. That's militia training. That is now banned. Maybe we're just otherwise going to limit your ability to participate in a legal and open system, whether it's guns, which are supposed to be guaranteed by the Second Amendment and our natural rights to self-defense, or it's limiting you participating in a free and open stock market. All of these controls, guns and finances alike, are all there in the name of protecting you from yourself or preventing another disaster. And the question that you should ask yourself, the same one that I've been finding myself asking lately, is it really about protecting me from myself? Or is it about protecting them from me? You know, I've seen a lot of comments on Twitter lately about this whole event, and it's really rather stunning to see how quickly Congress and the news is acting to shut this down when suddenly it affects the money. But they allowed riots and protests and property destruction and all kinds of madness to go on for over a year, an economic shutdown even over COVID. But as soon as a bunch of nerds on Reddit decide that they have found a way to stick it back to the man, the world loses its mind. So to that, the only thing I can say is freedom is scary. And perhaps we should all learn a little bit of risk management. All right, that is it for me. Take care, and I'll see you next week.